No, yeah, I'm still here. Nope, it's still really quiet on stream, David. Oh, they can hear me. Yeah, they can hear me, but they can't hear you. Hang on, can you guys hear me on stream? Yeah, I can hear my voice, but can't hear yours. How weird is that? Hang on, say something, David. Nope, nope, nothing. Nope, I can't even hear you on stream. I can only hear my voice. Yeah, sure. Right, so we've got 5 minutes left of the session now. Excuse me. We've already got Law 4155, who's already set a fastest lap, which is a 116.3, and mostly everyone's probably going to be coming out to set a final lap. Silverside Boy is currently on a lap to see if he can improve, but he's invalidated. Who else is on a lap? Brad Mason 11 is currently into sector 2. Or when he goes off track a bit and invalidates his lap. Is there anyone else on a lap? Yeah, there's L Plan. L Plan is going on a lap, but no. Lad missed the apex by continent. There we go. As he comes round the last corner, which in fact is the goal. I've learned that corner. And as he crosses the line, that's a 123.9. I think he's about to set an actual lap now. Hang on. Say something. No, still can't hear anything. That's fine. Alright, what corner is this? Is he going on? I believe it. Hang on, I've learnt the corners. It's the Portimao corner or the Sagres corner. I believe it's one of them. And now as he comes round the corner, which is called the Gulp. And as he crosses the line at the 116.5. Ow, it's my knuckles. Anyone else? Stills invalidated his lap. More leaders on a lap as he comes into sector 2. I know, it's just, sorry guys on stream, but it's only me talking at the moment. David is here, but the audio. So if you hear me laughing, it's not I'm laughing at myself. You can see the action on David's screen, just not him hearing, but actually speaking.
Yeah. It's not going well.
Oh! Hold on.
Hold on. What are we holding on for?
Oh, we can hear you.
Oh, thank fuck for that! Jesus Christ! Fucking hell. I do apologise for my language, but it's clearly warranted.
We can hear you now.
I'm sorry.
Thank God for that.
I'm really sorry to
guys.
put you in that situation, Rosie, but alas. And
sorry
yeah.
guys if you heard any language from David.
Yeah.
He just got very happy that he could actually talk.
Yeah, it's kind of important as the checkered flag comes down at qualifying. By the way, it was a qualifying session going on, everyone, and no one has yet to beat Law, but last week's winner, Croskery, putting in a fantastic lap initially to get him on the front row, but he's since been displaced by TD10. I can't remember what nickname I gave him last time. IRL TD10. You think of a nice nickname for the Alfa Romeo driver, Rosie?
Not really. Just think maybe it does sound like a name like the last name, the bit of the TD10. It sounds like it's like Toad or like Ted.
Oh, we called him. I'm sorry. The name is Toad. Toad or Ted. I mean, I would have gone Earl with IIRL, but yeah, Toad. Toad sounds good. Anyway, he is going to be starting on the front row at the end of qualifying and into the race. And here are the rest of your positions. Of course, you guys at home have been watching more than me. I've been glued to other things. So here are your standings, and a couple that I will point out. Disappointing qualifying for Dynamo Dan. He's been looking fast all season, but not so much tonight. Disappointing also for Cruiser, as Steele comes back to the league and puts himself on the fourth row. That's not a bad effort. Right in front of him is going to be Silverside Boy. Brad Mason. And in front of him is Yorkie. That's a decent qualifying once again from Yorkie. And we're just going to load in to the race day, and we can see the sun is shining. So no doubt a few sighs of relief for the apparent lack of weather. As well, that pole time, Rosie, a 16.3 it was from Law. Very strong time. Do you reckon he'll have the wits about him to carry on the good pace and maybe take a win? He's been down on his luck, I would say, until this season.
Well, the thing is, David, if he can get a good start, because it's definitely gonna be a lot of carnage probably from the first sector really, because on that little corner when you cross the line, it's always gonna be a bit of a hectic because you can have like carnage going on. All cars are just gonna try and stay on track. So yeah, as long as all the drivers get a good start, then yeah.
Yep, and of course it is still Tier 2. Although they were pretty good last week. Last week's race was, a fairly decent spectacle, and I'm sure we will be enjoying some more exciting racecraft tonight. But I think the most important thing for drivers to know is that the race isn't won at turn 1, lap 1. And I'm sure a lot of the guys will know that by now. But yeah, it is important for Law to get away very well, as we've seen so many drivers take advantage of poor starts so far. Apparently people promising to take out Gary turn 1. I'll believe it when I see it.
And Radical said in the chat, I didn't enjoy Sunday.
I mean, Radical had an okay race. He had some good battles. I quite enjoyed the battles I had with him. Karma for last season. Yeah, well, here we are away on the formation lap, and hopefully the only time we'll be seeing this tonight. Touch wood, anyway. But yes, it is, of course, not quite a full grid tonight. We gave our options to the drivers whether they wanted to race tonight. Of course, it is a Valentine's Day. I extend a happy Valentine's Day to the FPRL community and wider sim racing community. I say sim, it's a very, very broad use of the term sim when we're talking about F1 23. But yes, happy Valentine's Day to you all. And here we've got 16 people in a lobby who didn't have anything better to do. You love to see it.
Yep. Thanks for the drink reminder, CD.
Yes, thank you, CD. As he knows, last night I was on the wine for a different commentary. Tonight I am keeping my promise to not drink midweek by having a rum and coke.
Fair enough. Radical said in the chat, we'll look forward to Silverstone track. I really like. Yeah, I don't mind Silverstone track. It's actually good. I don't know about you, David, if you like the track.
I mean, for me, Silverstone's a bit mixed emotions. I'm not too fond of it in this year's game. Maybe to be fair, maybe more. I like it a little bit more than I did previously, given this year's handling model around Maggots and Beckett's. But I mean, I can't feel too bad about the place because, of course, one of my 2 wins, Gary, has come at Silverstone. as Yorkie gets himself disqualified off the grid, as does Hirsch. So that bodes well for the guy in P5 and P16. As we get ready for the lights to go green, you can see...
Can we have a better camera angle, please?
Can we have... No, you've got this one or none, apparently. Right, this is the only camera angle we've got, unfortunately.
My God. Oh, here we go.
Into turn
That's
one.
a bit better.
Toad
Ooh!
gets tagged in the rear by L Plan and gets overtaken by Crossgree, already up into P2. Last week's winner really looking to try and go around, but up the inside into turn 3 goes Toad. I can't say that.
He likes the name.
Back into P2 then. As further back, we've had a lot of side-by-side here. Everyone seemingly keeping it clean, as there's a slow Haas of L-Plan.
Oh, and there's a bit of a crash at the back.
Oh, there's a car going off there. And that's Remaster. And it's not looking good for the AlphaTauri guys at the moment. P15 and P16. And I think Remaster's not very happy with what's just gone on. Yorkie, despite the disqualification off the start, has found himself up one position. So...
And L-Plan and Cruiser. L-Plan and Cruiser are going for a move. And Dino Dan wants to get involved as well.
Yeah, L-Plan is going backwards. And he's losing so much. Is he still in the session? L-Plan.
I believe he is still in this session.
He's lost so many places over that first lap. It makes me think maybe he's not, but...
Oh, and Brewmaster's retired.
Yeah, called it a day at the end of lap 1. That is shocking to say the least. A track that can throw so much at you. But L-Plan still on the back of Dynamo Dan. Let me just...
CD said he thinks he had wing damage, left end plate.
Of course, yes, there it is, the left end plate damage. So yeah, he was doing the right thing by keeping out of the way, although he is sticking with this group at the moment, and he is within his rights to, if he feels he can, although you see right there, drifting wide of the double, whatever it is, the right-hander, and losing shape out of the first corner of Sector 3. I don't know corner names around here, unlike you, Rosie, who might have had the track map up, to be fair, as Toad picks up the fastest lap of the race on the end, at the end of lap 2. So this lap, the DRS is active, and we've got Yorkie on a charge here, on his soft tyres. And he will need to really make them count early on, because they won't last too long at the start of the race. You see plenty of drivers on differing strategies. We've got 4 on hards, which definitely didn't seem the tyre of choice at any point on Sunday. And Rosie, what would you say would be, knowing what you know from Sunday, what do you reckon the optimal strategy should be?
I mainly think the best strategy to either go on is, if you want to try and do like a 2-stop, you would say do mediums and then hards. But for some people, they've chosen to go on softs, and I know softs won't last as long. So if people want to hit, they would have to, either the best tyre would probably go from softs to mediums, or depending on if there's like a safety car or where you want to pit, you do softs to hards, depending on if there's like a late safety car.
Yeah, so much could hinge on a late safety car, just like at any track. And here we see Steele and Lexus fighting away here for P8, and it looks like Lexus has got up the inside into turn 4, and he's got that move done. Oh, there's been a tag, and Steele has been tagged from behind. It looked like Dynamo Dan might have just clipped him as he tried to come round the corner and get the switchback on Lexus. I'm not quite sure if there's damage there, or maybe even Steele lost it by himself, but that is not gone particularly well on lap 4 for Steele on his return. Still plenty
looks
of
like
race.
he's having a good race, David. He's just ahead of everyone, but Toad is catching up a bit to Law.
Yep, and the gap at the moment is 8 tenths, but you can see the difference in ERS. Of course, it is so hard to overtake here with the DRS, even with the DRS, even with ERS, in fact. And Toad is going to have his work cut out for sure, especially with the man right behind who is burning his ERS. He's going to have a go into turn 4. He's stuck his nose up the inside. It was a very, very late move from Yorkie, and I don't think Toad will be particularly happy about that one, but he has got the better exit, which has allowed him to maintain the place, and no harm done for the moment, but he is going to keep looking for that move. Of course, the more these guys fight, the more Crossgree can come back into it. He seems a little bit in a world of his own at the moment, as Silverside Boy up in P5, doing pretty well on those mediums to start with.
Thanks for the drink, Ben.
Much appreciated, Ben. And, well, a drink I shall take. Lovely. Boy. Distraction. Microphones gets microphones. Not good. So, let's have a quick recap then of...
and Yorkie's used nearly all of his ERS. He's only got like 5% of it left, I believe.
Yeah, indeed. And the thing is, it's done him no good, because you can see in front Toad right on the back of Law, and has closed that gap. And Yorkie's fallen back despite using all of his ERS. So looking at positions gained there, we look like we've got Lexus up 7 positions into P8. It's been a great start for the Ferrari driver. And everyone else fairly close to where they start. Night Owl +4. Hush is +3 up in P13, starting from the back of course. And, well, it's going to slowly unfold as the laps come through. But who do you think we've got to keep an eye out at the moment?
I think at the moment the best person probably to keep an eye out is Cruz has got DRS and is trying to catch up to Dino Dan, but Dino Dan seems to be using some of his ERS, but I think just a minute ago he did have DRS.
Yep, so the fight in midfield is becoming very quickly a bit of a DRS train. We've got between P5 all the way down to P11, and that is Panic End in the Mercedes, which is very weird to see. I'm still used to people's last season's cars, but here we are, still in season 7. Of course, the one familiar thing is Silverside Boy here in this Red Bull. He's got Brad Mason for company right behind, and he is dragging him along, as he is also to Night Owl. These guys on the hard tyres almost being protected by Silverside Boy through the use of DRS. Brad Mason using his ERS early in the acceleration zone and using that to good effect as Yorkie already, lap 8, comes into the pits. He's going to go onto the medium tyres. Could we see possibly a 2-stop from one of the Alpine guys as Law dipping both wheels on the curb there on the exit of turn 3, and but he still maintains position over Toad in P2, and I'm sure he won't thank you.
Though, David,
Yeah.
that Yorkie has decided to go on the medium tyres. He might decide to do a 3-stop because it's only lap 8 of 33. Maybe the medium tyres won't last all the way till lap 33, and there hasn't been a safety car yet, so he might have a chance to catch up, as he is P14 at the moment.
Yep, and he really, although he's not in any traffic, he will be the fastest man on track at the moment. And I'm sure come end of next lap we could very well see a fastest lap from him. And in front he's got about a 4-second gap to Steele, who of course had that unfortunate spin earlier on in the race, as Silverside Boy and Brad Mason looking like there was a little bit of in between there, but nothing doing, as Lexus looking right up behind Night Owl. He could have the better drive through turn 2, but alas, does not. Just no room to go around the outside there, but he's got the DRS, he's got the ERS now coming in towards turn 4. Is he going to get the move done? You can see it here from the eye of the corner, and Night Owl's still there on the outside. Of course, it will become the inside in the next 2 corners, and he holds on to position. Good fighting from these guys here in the mid-pack.
It does look a bit chaotic from going from about P4 down to P8 or P9, I believe. All drivers are trying to catch up to each other and get really, really close.
Yep, and one thing we can say is, what I can see on my screen right now is the yellow fuel icon for Lexus, which does mean that he is indeed under-fueled. So he is going to count on, as actually I notice now, good old CD in the chat pointing that out as well. So yes, Lexus is running low on fuel, but
he's going to make a move on Night Owl.
And
using some DRS and using some ERS, and he's only got 11% left.
Yep, and crucial for him right now will be not getting a time penalty and keeping on the back of the guys in front. But yes, just picking up a 3-second going wide at turn 3. He really needs to stick with the cars, or else he will find himself prey to the many cars behind. Meanwhile, Hirsch making a move on L Plan. Hirsch on 9-lap old soft tyres at the moment. Not looking too bad indeed. And L Plan is probably not too impressed. Although, is he still... Yep, still got wing damage. So, I mean, at this point, he's just hurting his own race. Probably, he does indeed need a safety car. And... although I'm very aware, CD, probably talking about Lexus. But we are on lap 11 now, and no safety car to be seen. Law has flown from the top right from the start of the session, and leading by example. He's looking very strong so far in the race.
Oh, and Hirsch is like nearly weaving as L-Plan's trying to catch him up, but Hirsch is still on the soft tyres for 10 laps. He's probably got to pit soon.
Yeah, and I'm thinking if he's going for the the softs to mediums, he's probably going to need to pit at around lap 14 maybe. So he's going to have to eke them out for a few more laps if he wants to do the one-stop strategy. Still
CD says CD says in the chat, I was David. Lexus is screwed.
Yeah. I know you were talking about Lexus, but it also applied to the man I was watching at the time. So I took advantage of it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take advantage of you, CD, especially on this day. Yeah. Right, the battle for P4 rages on then. We've got all the way down to P10 in this little fight. I can't even see the
David, thoughts of my chances in Tier 1 this week
I
from
think
CD?
I think CD. I think your chances of doing well in the Portimao race drastically improve and almost infinitesimally improve if you turn up. So that's my.
Oh no! Law's had a 3-second time penalty.
Oh dear. Well, there you go. And that is what it can cost you if you don't stay within the track limits. And the FIA, the stewards in the race, are really laying down the law tonight. Ah! Shit joke, yeah! Ah. It's been a long day. I've checked in, so mission accomplished. Good. Now all you need to do is convince AMS Drive to drive for you. I mean, get good. Maybe get some tips off Gary. He's doing very well at the moment.
And the Alfa Romeo is making a move on Law as they're currently battling for P1. But Law has got that 3-second time penalty. He doesn't want to get another one.
Yeah, and it was good intelligent fighting there into turn 1, so Toad did get the pull away early on, but Law just cut back and kept it on the track and manages to hold on to position. Meanwhile, Crossscree dropped back a little bit from these guys at the front, and he's still...
Night Owl and Cruiser going for it.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the hard runners now, as they are yet still in the middle of this here pack. And the hard runners are probably looking pretty good, so maybe have a think about making a move late on into this stint. The guys around them will have worse tyre wear, of course. But will it be enough for them to be able to use both the DRS, the slipstream and the better grip to be able to get ahead of these guys and maybe break free, get a bit of clean air behind them? Still plenty of race to go, of course, as Hirsch still on the soft tyres and he's coming around the corner to come on to lap 14. Will we see him pit this lap? I think we won't. He stays out for one more, and it could be another one after that. You never know. I have been wrong before. These guys at the front still fighting, and
when do you think the top 5 will pit, David?
I suspect, as we see a side-by-side between Lexus and Silverside Boy, Lexus getting past the Red Bull driver, and I think we should expect them to pit on around lap 18 or 19, maybe even 20. I think we're going to see them go from the mediums to the softs.
Yeah, that's what I was probably thinking.
Yeah,
because you have got the 3 people behind them, which is Brad Mason, Night Owl, and Cruiser, which are on the hard tyres.
And yeah, they'll be able to go a little bit longer, but if you're going from mediums to softs, that early pace you will have when you come in to do your soft stint is going to put you far away, unless these 3 drivers on the hards have mega pace when they do come in. It's going to be tough for them as Hurst picks up a time penalty, and we get fighting here for P5. Silverside Boy has got back past Lexus. Lexus now going wheel to wheel with Brad Mason and comes out on top. You see all the drivers flashing as Night Owl up the inside of Brad Mason into turn 4. Is he going to go up the inside of Lexus as well? No, not quite, but it does get the move. A good move there from Night Owl. Was so agonisingly close to his first FPRL win last week, taken away at the last 2 corners by the man currently in P3. But not a bad showing at the moment. It's just so difficult when you're in a pack like this to break free when everyone is dragging each other along. And they're still fighting now for P5. Night Owl wants to take charge of this 3 hard drivers. Oh, he taps the back of Lexus there and lifts off the throttle quite rightly to make sure Lexus can get away. Yeah, just caught out by the difference in speed coming around that corner. And you can see the DRS is open. He's got no ERS and he can't even get close to Lexus. So even the double slipstream, but here comes Cruiser. Cruiser up the inside, forcing Night Owl a little bit wide, and they bang tyres again. Cruiser up the inside of turn 2, but not quite. Will he hang it around the outside of turn 3? Yes, he does. And will he get far enough ahead coming into turn 4? No, Night Owl still there. Going to go for the move around the outside. Meanwhile, Dynamo Dan has a quick peek, but Cruiser getting past Night Owl. So back again with a P5, P6 for the Ferraris. Good move by Cruiser in the end as we see the Petronas Mercedes guys going wheel to wheel. They're fighting through turn 3 and they're going to fight through turn 4. Brad Mason, famously not a team player, really taking it to his teammate. And Panic End won't be too happy about that for sure. As we hop back to the front, Law has pit. Lap 17. Into the pits comes Law. And what tyre is it going to be on? Can't see.
I believe it's the hards.
Will he regret that?
That is a tough decision, though, to go on hards.
Well, we'll
maybe
see how
he
that plays out.
Maybe he doesn't want to do a 3-stop, because if you wanted to be on the mediums and then go on to the softs, depending on how long the softs will be, then you're kind of screwed there because you don't know what tyres to go on. If you come out with soft tyres, you might then pit to hards or just yeah.
Yeah, as there was big very close to drama there in sector 1 at turn 1. You see 2 cars coming out of the pits and the 2 Mercedes guys fighting tooth and nail still. Thankfully everyone gets through all right. There was a yellow flag and it looks like there might have just been a small accident from Dynamo Dan, but he's still going. We're on lap 17 coming on to 18 as Crossgreen now comes into the pits trying to go for the undercut. Or is he reacting to the drivers around? What tyres will he go on to? 16 laps left of the race. What are we looking at, Rosie?
Dino Dan and her. No, not her. Dino Dan and I believe L Plan. They were having a bit of contact just a minute ago. I think L Plan went for a move on Dino Dan, but I don't think it actually worked out.
And yeah, you can see
I'll
Dynamo
just have to
Dan.
have a look and see.
Oh, Crossgreen.
Oh, and Crossgreen gets a 3-second time penalty.
Crossgreen. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, Dynamo Dan probably looking to get his tyres up to temperature, but there goes El Plan. But around the outside into turn 1, Dynamo Dan. What a move that is! And El Plan, and he has had his front wing changed, but still not finding the
Panic End and sorry to interrupt you there, David, but Panic End and Silverside Boy are going alongside each other, but Lexus is behind Silverside Boy and wants to get involved in the action.
Yep. Unfortunately for Lexus, he's still got that yellow fuel warning hanging over him. And the longer he goes, as Toad pits from the lead and he goes on to the soft tyres. And that's what we were waiting for. Will someone try it? And he has indeed. He's going to come out in P4. And, well, Law has indeed jumped him. But will he be able to hold Toad behind for, well, 14, 15 laps left of the race?
Oh, and it's 3 wide for Lexus, Silverside and Panic End.
Yeah, not giving this one up is Panic. He's got 4-lap-old hard tyres on. And the guys in... Oh, Gary.
Oh, Gary gets a 3-second time penalty.
Oh, Gary.
Oh, Gary.
Right.
What have you done?
What have you done, Gary? Silly sausage. Anyway, it looks like could be just the 2 drivers left to pit. Yorkie's got 11 laps on his medium tyres and Night Owl's got 18 on his. And Yorkie probably going to be coming into the pits soon, I would imagine, to go on to the softs. We already seen Toad thinking he can get them to the end, but here we got Cruiser going around the outside of Panic End. Tyre advantage, and there you go. Beautiful, as you like, from the Ferrari driver. And yeah, it's just the wrong tyre at the wrong time for Panic End. If he can stick with him, they'll come good towards the end of the race. Looked like he was shaping up for a move there, but in the end a bit indecisive and has to pull out. So in those pit stops then we've seen Lexus get in front of Silverside Boy. Silverside Boy was of course leading the NATO train, as I saw
and Law,
in the chat.
Law and Night Owl. Law and Night Owl are making a bit of a move there, but I think Law thinks he can make the move on Night Owl as he is on 3 laps of hards, where Night Owl is on 19 laps. So probably his hards are running out a bit, as he might have to pit soon.
Yep, as
And
we
speaking
see
of, he does pit.
him and Yorkie.
And Yorkie.
Yep, so there goes TD, setting at 18.4, I think that was. Good lap in the race. We're still a few laps worth of fuel left in. Crossbury back into P3 then.
And Night Owl's going on to medium tyres. Looks like he's not going to take the put on the soft tyres. Only Toad has decided to put on soft tyres.
Yep, and it'll be interesting to see if he can keep those alive until the end of the race. A couple of laps on, and he's gained 2 seconds on Law in front. Of course, Law does have that 3-second time penalty hanging over him. Can Toad keep his tyres alive for long enough to be able to get past? Of course, he doesn't really need to. There's a 3-second gap, effectively.
And Husky Huff says in the chat, good race at the moment. Well, there hasn't been a safety car at the moment, and it's lap 21. And at the moment, the tier 2 drivers are actually doing well at the moment, despite some people have got penalties.
Yep, and speaking of penalties, let's have a look at what people have at the moment. We've got Law in the lead with 3 seconds, Crossbury down in P3 with 3 seconds. Lexus and Silverside Boy in P6 and 7 respectively, as well as Hirsch with a 5-second, presumably speeding into the pits down in P11. Plenty of race yet to go. Quite a few of the drivers with their
Oh,
teammates.
and there's a bit of bumping going on with all with More Leader and Hirsch and Dino Dan. Looks like it's going to be nearly a 3 wide.
Yep, as the McLaren and the AlphaTauri going side by side into turn 4. Dynamo Dan comes out on top there. Let's have a look at the tyre situation. Of course, yes, More Leader on 14 lap old hard tyres. And he is going to be suffering at this point, hoping for a safety car to bring him back into this. As Dynamo Dan looking at the back of Hirsch. And really close coming through this middle part. The 7 lap old medium tyres. There's a good battle between these two. As there's contact between the two of them. And it looked like Hirsch went a little bit deep into the corner. Dan had left plenty of room. It just looks like he caught his rear wheel, but he will have the DRS here. Will he be able to get past in the straight? He will. He's got the straight line speed. Will he make it stick? Stop in time for turn 1? Yes, he does. Dynamo Dan has no interest in fighting that around there, but he might have something to say coming into turn 4. He comes up the hill. And you see so tentative on the throttle. Hirsch trying his best to get out of DRS, but getting a much better drive than Dynamo Dan. Although a bit shaky on the exit as Dan manages to stay with him, but he's going to have another go some other time. Meanwhile, we've got the battle for... Oh, this is a bad opportunity for me to swap to Yorkie, who has gone into the back of Silverside Boy. And fair play to him, he waited up for him. And yeah, Yorkie on much fresher tyres there, getting caught out by Silverside Boy on those hard tyres. So that's what we're all about here, a bit of fair play, and presumably an apology coming his way, for sure.
Thought it was going to be a safety car then.
We should be so lucky, or more so, Lexus should be so lucky, who's still on the yellow light for fuel. Yeah, he's running out of laps to save any... Oh, I think that was Gary waving to Yorkie, just go past, you're much faster. And he does indeed let him past. So a little bit of de facto teamwork here between the Alpine and the Red Bull. I'm not too sure that Christian Horner would be too happy about that.
Despite losing 2 positions, he still gave him the position back. Respect at York.
Yep, in before Gary puts it into the stewards anyway. I'm sure he won't. Right, it looks like the battle's coming a little bit few and far between, as right now we've got Cruiser on the back of Brad Mason as L-Plan picks up a 3-second time penalty down in P15. And not going particularly well for him at the moment. Your Cruiser 2 lap fresher tyres than Brad Mason, but not able to make the impression into turn 1. He's going to stick behind him now coming up the turn 3, and he's going to have DRS. He's not going to deploy. Is he going to look to the inside? No, he pulls out of it. And Brad Mason, cool as you like, he's not defending. He's thinking, wow, don't have to defend, do I? He ain't going to get past me. So yeah, fair play. Cool as a cucumber is Brad Mason. We've got Night Owl here, right on the back of Lexus. Really pushing him through this middle sector. Is he going to go for the inside here? Yes, he is. What a move by the Williams driver. Will he get the cutback? Lexus. No, he won't. So really good move there from Night Owl, showing the racecraft he had last week. And at the moment, doesn't look like it's going to be his night. But there's still 8 laps to go in this race, so still plenty can happen. Law still in the lead then from Toad. The gap now half a second as Cruiser gets past Brad Mason. Well, no, he doesn't. Goes a little bit deep into turn 1, and Cruiser just gets breezed past by Brad Mason. Really good switchback move from him, but is he going to be able to defend coming into turn 4? No, he's not. He's up the inside. Will he try the cutback? Yes, he will. And they're coming out of the corner side by side, and Cruiser gets away with it. Great move there from Cruiser.
Yeah, I'm okay, Radical.
What are you giggling for? What are you giggling? Are you giggling?
I think I've just got the giggles tonight.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, Radical. I'm fine.
Oh dear.
I think it's because David's making me laugh.
I am a funny bloke. A very funny bloke, to be fair. I know that's why you're all tuning in on a Wednesday night.
Well, we have got 10 people watching.
10? Oh, I'm just going to assume that Streamlabs is correct, so it says 14. Whichever number is higher, I'm going to assume is the
no,
number.
it says 13. It says
there you
13
go, I'll take
now.
that. 13. It's a happy in between. Brad Mason getting back past Cruiser then onto lap 27, and these guys are going to lose a bit of time if they don't sort of butt their ideas up, although there is that 8.5 second gap to Croskery in front.
Radical said in the chat, good, glad to hear. Yeah, David's a legend, to be fair.
And to be fair,
that's nice.
I am an absolute legend as well. I'm funny and a legend.
David's the legend.
Modest too, clearly.
I'm surprised actually about Toad. He's lasted because he's been on softs for 8 laps now, and it's only lap 27:33. Maybe he could potentially keep going on the soft tyres.
Yeah, I think that will be his plan to go to the end, but you can see he's not trying particularly hard to get past Law. Law all over the place into turn 1, turn 2. All he did was poke a nose up the inside, and yeah, it seemed to have spooked Law into
Law is
defending.
flashing. He's only got like 6% batteries, where Toad has half of the battery. He's got like 35%.
Yep, so we could very well see a move in the coming laps. He has been sitting behind him just for a few, but now he is closer than he has been thus far and might be able to make a move. You can see it looks like he's still got plenty of confidence on those soft tyres, so I'll be keeping an eye on that, although he lost a little bit in the middle sector. Will he be close enough this time around? The Alfa Romeo, of course, your teammate, Rosie. I'm sure you'll be cheering him on.
You what?
I'm just saying he's your teammate, isn't he? Aren't you, Alfa Romeo?
Yeah.
And there's the move into turn 1, and easy as you like. Will he be able to break free now? Has he got enough left in those soft tyres?
Oh, and Law's on the back of his car.
Yeah, Law needs to
Come
keep
on,
it
Alfa Romeo.
clean.
Come on, Alfa Romeo, you can do this.
Yeah, of course, Law with
Come on,
that free
Toad.
second. He's gone a little bit deep into turn 4, and Law comes back at him. Will he get the move done? Oh, they're banging wheels, and Toad gives up the position. Good fighting from these guys. Law back into the lead. His plan has got to be to put Toad under as much pressure as possible, trying to get the Alfa Romeo man a 3-second penalty as well to put these guys on level footing, but not working thus far. All TD needs to do is stick behind for the remaining 3 and a bit laps, and that will be game over. 3 and a bit laps? 4 and a bit laps? I don't know.
all Toad needs to do is not get a penalty, and he could potentially keep up to Law and then win the race.
Yeah, although, of course, you only ever really want to win it on track. But, of course, a win is a win at the end of the day. And I'm sure he won't mind too much if he has to get it on a penalty. But Croskery, down in no man's land. He's having a very quiet race, the McLaren driver, but having a very solid race. He is in P3 with no one around. Brad Mason catching him slightly, but that will not phase Croskery at all, I don't think, with only a 3-second time penalty. Cruiser then still on the back of Brad Mason, and Brad Mason is managing to keep him at bay for the moment. Night Owl is back from him by about 3 seconds, and behind him, of course, Yorkie, whose early pace on this stint has sort of peeled off, and yeah, not looking particularly great for the Alpine, for one half of the Alpine garage anyway.
Oh, save some of your EOS. No, he's used all of it.
Oh, Toad. Is he going to go for the move?
TD keeps losing times. Has his tyres gone? Huh? TD keeps losing time. Has his tyres gone?
I would imagine they're feeling a lot more used than they were 10 laps ago. Of course, now they're on 12 laps worth of wear. And, well, yeah, he might be running out of time. He needs to, I think that what he really needs to do is stick behind Law. As you see how wide he goes there for turn 8 or turn 7 or whatever the one it is. As the gap now 7 tenths, and this is probably the biggest the gap has been for a while. 8 tenths, and Radical, you could be on to something here, as Steele picks up a time penalty down in P14. Very unlucky for the lad. It's just not gone wrong for him today. Did I say lucky?
No. Unlucky.
Yeah, the gap then just over 8 tenths, and he will get the DRS still, but will he be able to carry on fighting this fight? Because I'll tell you what, the game is on. If Law can get out of the DRS this lap. Hitting the apex as well at the moment is TD. So DRS down for the second time this lap, and braking well into turn 4, and he's closed up pretty well thus far. Let's have a look at other fights on the track. Of course, this P4 battle still going on. Cruiser really flirting with track limits there.
As he gets a 5-second penalty.
Oh, Morley.
He was on hards. He was on hards for 24 laps.
Yep, and no doubt has now pitted for fastest lap. And he will get one chance, and his time to beat is going to be a 1:18.4, which is a fantastic lap from Toad. By the way, More Leader is going to have about 10 seconds less, 10 laps worth of fuel less.
Come on, Toad. Save some of your EOS.
Oh no, he won't. And there you go, on to the last lap of the race. Toad still well within the within the DRS range. And surely all he has to do now is just stay behind. And Law, despite leading almost from start to finish here, he is going to lose out due to that one single penalty. TD going very deep into turn 4, gets away with it though. As onto the last lap also for the P4 battlers. The gap now 3 tenths. Cruiser running out of ERS, and he's definitely run out of laps. Has he run out of ideas? as he goes for maybe a cheeky
Oh, and
switchback.
some people are getting red flashes of fuel. Like Law's getting a red fuel, Toad's getting a fuel, and Crossgreed's fine.
Yep, that's less than a lap of fuel left then. These are the guys who have really kept it. And we'll have a look at Lexus very quickly. As you can see, he is short shifting all over the place. But across the line comes Law to win the race. But that 3-second penalty demotes him. So Toad takes the win tonight. Crossgreed coming home for the second podium in a row. Big up the Toad from the other side of the comms box. And you're the one that's going to have to explain to him why his nickname is what it is.
Okay.
Brad Mason coming home in P4, getting the better of Cruiser on that occasion. It was a great battle between the two. Night Owl is not a bad race from him, not quite as lofty as the P2 heights of last week. 2 corners away he was, of course, at Austria. This week, just a P6. Solid performance all the same. Yorkie coming home in P7 as Lexus did manage to get to the line eventually, but you can see he's already run out of battery, run out of fuel coming through turn 1. So Lexus will be P8, and I don't know who P9 is, so because it went away. Driver of the day is the man who's crawling around because he ran out of fuel, according to the game. So there you have it.
He had yellow. He had yellow fuel warning.
And there you go. TD on the top step, next to Law and Crossgree.
So your results there was Toad. So that is your name for me. Toad with a P1, Law P2, Crossgree P3, Brad Mason P4, Cruiser managed to get a P5, Night Owl P6, Yorkie P7, Lexus P8, Panic End P9, Dino Dan P10, Silverside Boy, even though he got a 3-second penalty, got 11th. Hirsch P12, Steel P13, L Plan P14, More Leader P15, and unfortunately with Brewmaster, who DNF'd because he had enough, because I think he had wing damage P16.
Yep,
and that is your result.
Yeah, a bit of a shocker for the AlphaTauri team. But More Leader confirmation did get the fastest lap at the end, only just a 1:18.4 over, well, 1:18.461. So yeah, 25 thousandths of a second he got that fastest lap by. So fair play to More Leader.
Someone took a picture of the results.
It's on stream, it's fine.
Fair enough. Go back on stream and get the results, guys.
Yep, I'm sure Headcoms will do so. Right, shall we get
the top 3 in? So I believe get Crossgree, then who else was it? It was in P2.
Law and Toad.
Well, Law's left the lobby already, and Toad is still in the lobby.
Fortunately, I'm breaking the fourth wall here. You can all see me go through my recent players and finding them.
Right, there's Crossgree. I sent an invite to him.
I think Law's gone to bed. I'll invite him anyway.
And yeah, we'll need to invite Toad. That's my name for him. Toad. Oh, and Silverside Boy says, I hate this game. And Crossgree's joined.
Yeah, a 1 out of 3 ain't bad at the moment. I'm just going to wait to see if anyone else
will join.
Oh, there is
Here we
TD.
go.
I'm not entirely sure if Law's going to join us.
I believe Law's probably gone off. He's had enough.
He's had enough. Probably mild disappointment right there.
Oh, and Steel YMV says in the chat, David, I need a hug after that.
Oh, it's on its way after the stream. I promise you. As we will get to see one of the Alfa Romeos. Alas, we're going to start off with Croskery in. Yes, Croskery is in the party. So I'm going to take P3. If you want to take P1, Rosie, when the time comes.
Yep.
So, Croskery, you're making a habit of this, getting in the top 3.
Yeah, it's pretty much unexpected. I said last week on the podium interview that I didn't feel like I had the pace, and just even at practice, it didn't. Sadly, the friends leaderboard wasn't showing, so I couldn't even see where my pace sat. So I just got into this race blind, and I think it was like P6 or something. I qualified, which boosted the hopes up a little bit. It was actually P3, sorry.
It was.
But it was a pretty boring race for me. It was kind of I couldn't hold on to the top 2 guys. They were just far too quick, so I was just driving on my own, just getting away from Gary. He was fighting away behind me. It's like a 7 or 8 second gap, so it was just kind of bringing the car home at that early stage. I think like lap 10 or 11.
Yep, and to be fair, yes, as you say, a very lonely race, but of course that can be that can cause you to have a lack of maybe a lack of concentration, pick up the warnings, but you managed to keep away from that. No, you didn't. You got a 3-second time penalty. So you got that relatively early, I believe, and of course a second one would have really probably given you a bit more to worry about. How close were you to getting your second penalty?
Yeah, the first one I was just still trying to catch the 2 guys in front, but the second one I had 2 warnings. Everything was at the exit of turn 1, and I seen Cruiser and Brad Mason towards the end of the race battling, and then the gap came down to about 7.1, and I knew if I had just one more warning, that was 6 seconds on me, and I knew if Cruiser seen that, he would have put the foot down. So it was pretty touch and go towards the last 5 laps or so. But thank fuck I didn't get one.
Yep, and final question, and you've now had a podium 2 weeks in a row, and it is unfortunately wasn't the same place as last week, but next week we're heading to Silverstone. Of course, a lot of people love the track, and but how do you feel about it? How do you feel about your pace around Silverstone? Is it a track you like?
Yeah, it is a track I like, but it's, as you say, it's also a track everybody likes. So pace-wise, I don't know where I'll stand there. I know my teammate Dan, he loves it, so I wouldn't be too surprised not to see him up there. Maybe P6, P7 in quali, I could be happy enough. I know in the race pace I tend to be a bit quicker than some of the guys that tend to qualify in front of me, so if that's the case, maybe a P4, P5 in the race I'd be happy enough with.
Well, fair enough, and that is pretty much it from me. I'm gonna hand over to Rosie, who will interview today's race winner. But congratulations to you, Croskery. A well fought
done.
P3 on the track. Over to you, Rosie.
Hello there, Ted. That's my nickname for you. Sorry about that. Have you got your Are you speaking? Can we hear you guys?
I am here.
Yep.
Can you hear
We
me?
can hear you.
That's good.
Right. Talk us through. How do you think that went? That race went for you, especially like qualifying.
Yeah, the quali went alright. It was just getting a banker in at first. I reckon I could have got pole, but I just messed up the final sector a bit. And then into the race, it was just kind of controlling my pace behind Law. I saw him get a penalty, And then when we're on the mediums, I just thought I'll stay behind, keep the ELS up, and just hope he makes another mistake. And then I saw him go on to hard tyres, and I did a league race recently, and I knew the strategy was medium soft, so I knew I'd be able to catch up to him. And I wanted to win it on track, but just the opportunity wasn't entirely there. So I'm still happy with the finish in first on penalties. So yeah, other than that, it was alright.
It was interesting for you because I did see that you decided to risk it and go from medium tyres to softs. You were the only one who decided to do that. How come you decided to do that and not go like every other driver and go on hards?
For me, this track, the hards are absolutely terrible. There's no pace, you're sliding all over the place, and I knew from recent experience that medium softs would definitely work, and as long as I got into Law's 3-second time penalty, then I wasn't too fussed. But yeah, it was basically just off of recent experience. I knew the medium softs would work, so that's what I went with and stuck with it.
Fair enough. And how do you feel for Silverstone, the next track?
Oof. It can be hit and miss at times. I've had some good experience, some bad experiences, but it is a good track. I do like it. It's just whether you can just hook up a lap in like qualifying and stuff and stay penalty free.
Fair enough. I think that's all the questions for me. David, have you got anything to say?
Thank you, Rosie. Nothing specifically that I can't get a much better quote from the Twitch chat. The Sun God calls you an absolute Yorkshire pudding, TD. So that is
it's
top
because
tier.
I'm from Leeds and he likes to take the mick out of me. So
fair enough.
By the way, do you like my nickname I gave you?
it's amazing. I might call myself Ted Kravitz now.
To be honest, that's not actually. Yeah, it was something like Toad, but yeah, we'll go with Ted.
It was between. Yeah, I think it was between Toad or Ted. But I said Toad.
Interesting. I might have to change my name to that now.
Yay!
So yes, congratulations to you, Ted. TD.
No.
To Toad. Whatever.
Thank you.
Toad in the hole. Oh dear. Yep. And
someone said in the chat, Toad in the hole.
Toad in the hole.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, and
yep, I've seen the redemption cross. I'm not too sure I can do a Gary Neville. So I might have to refund that. Unless you can get another one in.
Jamie Carragher.
Jamie Carragher. That's just like a typical Scouse accent. I want some chicken and a can of Coke. Anyway, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for tonight. You can see all up on the screen basically what Cross Crew said about Silverstone. Basic bitch track. Shocking from the Irishman. But yes, all we've got time for. Be sure to tune in again on Friday for the Tier 1 race. It's promising to be a good one. And from FPRL, I have been David Lolface, joined by
Rosie R180.
Scouse accent. Alright, we'll see you next time.